If you feel like the UFC has been different the last several years, you're not alone. There's a lot of different factors that go into it, but the main one is the fact that now the UFC is no longer a private company, it's a publicly traded company. What happens when a company becomes publicly traded? Well, first of all, the passion disappears, but more importantly, the focus is now on the shareholders. Which means the focus isn't on creating the best fights, getting the best fighters under contract, telling the best stories. The goal becomes making the most money. When you have someone as passionate as Dana White is, the Fertitta brothers, Lorenzo, Nick Maynard, all of them, you get a product that's closely related to what people want, the passion, the thing people like, the big fights, the big fighters, the big stories. But in 2023, the UFC and WWE merged under Zuffa and became TKO Group Holdings, which is now subservient to its shareholders, to people that just care about money. Are you bringing in money or are you not? Other people on YouTube have called it the encrapification of businesses or the encrapification of YouTube. I'm not going to use the real word. But not only is it happening to the UFC, it's happening to a place like YouTube, to a platform like YouTube, where we see that YouTube does not care about creators. In fact, it actively harms them. Copyright law is totally thrown out and creators lose everything for not doing anything illegal at all. The UFC, like YouTube, is about pumping out money. How much money can we squeeze out of this thing? That's why they made the change to where they're taking money out of creators' hands for shorts, and they're keeping it all for themselves. That's why they made the change, to change what a view is. It used to mean something. Now, it's meaningless. If you happen to accidentally scroll by some trash video, well, you just give them a view. It used to mean something. You used to have to click, you used to have to invest your time, you used to have to be interested in the video and actually stick around for the video for a second for it to count. Not anymore. It's the TikTokification of YouTube, the TikTokification of the UFC. We're all about the money. Now, there's nothing wrong with money. I'm very thankful that there's been sponsors that came along with the UFC and have been able to provide a place where the best warriors on planet Earth can come and fight. However, particularly since 2023, if you've noticed a major shift, this is going to be the reason why. Now, obviously, it's going to be probably more of a gradual shift. I mean, that's why you see the ruining of the UFC live events. When Paramount initially took over for the media rights, they were plastering advertisements over top of the cornerman, over top of the walkout. We couldn't see the actual product. It stopped being about the fight and start being about Ford trucks and Mountain Dew. They were muting the audio of walkout songs. They were plastering. They didn't even show the walkouts half the time. They're muting the corners and plastering L bars, like a bar of ad and another bar of ad, and minimizing the actual. They completely are out of touch with what the product is. And the product is, there's two fighters going to fight. We want to see them come out. We want to see the crowd pop. We want to see the excitement. We want to see them go to war. And most importantly, we want to hear what their corner is telling them in between the rounds. Now, that's just kind of my personal thing that's bothered me. But if you're curious why the overall product is different, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on the UFC website, whether it's to do with Meta and their weird rating system, where they have a media ranking system and their Meta ranking system, or maybe it's the storylines that you miss. You miss the buildup of the fighters. I heard Ariel Helwani talking about this on today's show. This is following Fluffy Hernandez and Gregory Rodriguez's fight. And they were talking about the fact that there are so many fighters in the UFC, and it's more about churning product and just pumping fighters in and pumping fighters out, that you lose the human element. You lose the storytelling element. You can't keep track of over 2,000 athletes. Go to the UFC website. Click active UFC fighters. There is thousands of them. You can't keep track of them all. Now, those are some cons, and the pros, obviously, is we do have a good product. We have fights almost every weekend. We have a very easy and lackadaisical viewing experience where you can just hop onto Paramount for $12 a month and watch the fights. So that's definitely a big plus. I'm not here to just tear down, oh, big corporation bad. But if you've noticed a shift in the priorities, a shift in the focus of the UFC, these are going to be some of the reasons why. And I'm going to relate it back to YouTube for a moment. YouTube doesn't really care what the experience is about. They don't really care what the product is. They don't really care about the people that are creating the content. They care about creating money, as any business should. However, they forgot what brought them to the game. They forgot the thing that makes the product good, which is people making videos that are worth watching. We click those videos and we go, it's got lots of views, it must be worth watching. Or maybe you see an interesting title and thumbnail and you go, you know what, it doesn't have views, but it looks worth watching. You click on it and maybe sometimes it is, maybe sometimes it isn't. The like and dislike feature used to tell you this is worth watching or most people hate it, one or the other. Or a view used to mean something. But now we're getting rid of the likes and dislikes. We're getting rid of what it means to have a view. Now it is incentivizing bots to get in there and just scroll down a feed. Every video that comes across your feed counts as a view, which completely destroys any meaning of a view. It used to mean somebody is engaging with you, they're clicking on it, they're watching for a few seconds, they're enjoying it, or whatever. Now, if your video just happens to be there as someone is scrolling, boom, you got a hit. It's meaningless. And they're taking away money from creators. They're making the requirements more difficult to make money on YouTube. They absolutely there's no such thing as YouTube support, by the way. They absolutely screw over all creators when it comes to copyright. And just to be clear on this isn't like Owen thinks that it's okay to steal footage or pirate. No. YouTube is just stupid and evil and unethical. You have the right to show a second or a frame or a short snippet of someone else's thing, as long as you're not stealing away the value, as long as you're not streaming the whole thing. You can show, why do you think news station shows a few clip of each basketball fight when they're talking about it? As long as you're commenting or adding, you can do this to art. You can do this to video. It is not illegal. The issue is YouTube doesn't care about creators. They don't have any humans that work in the customer care anymore. It's all bots. Go look up all of the disgusting responses that you get from YouTube when you have a problem. You're screwed. And you'll get no explanation as to why YouTube arbitrarily decides to remove your video. They don't care about the creators. They lie. And the worst part is the lying. They do all these little cutesy videos, these YouTube rewinds. Them as a company, YouTube will go, we love our creators. Look at all these people who made videos this year and made money. They hate you. They hate you. If they could do away with you, they would. That's why they're moving to a cable news style over what YouTube originally was, a platform for creators to create. Whether it's dog videos, whether it's commentary, whether it's showing the inside of your life or the inside of an event, the idea is phenomenal. But when you lose sight of the things that make the product great, the thing great, that is the encrapification of the UFC. That is the encrapification of YouTube. At any rate, subscribe here. I'm already interviewing and starting to tell stories of fighters, professional fighters near me, and I'm really excited. I'm bringing cameras, I'm meeting these people, I'm interviewing them. I've got a lot coming down the pipeline, as they say. Fighters with real stories, like if you enjoy the Countdown series that the UFC puts on, if you enjoy the Embedded series that the UFC puts on YouTube, I love those shows personally. So I want to be a part of that. I want to show the story of a real fighter. And so I've met a professional fighter, I've met a bunch of fighters. I'm doing a lot of video, and I'm very excited to bring you guys some really incredible stories about fighters. Subscribe here. And go over to subscribe to my documentaries channel as well. Guys, if you like these videos, please subscribe. There's no one on earth that loves the sport and respects it in the way that I do at this channel. I hesitate to even call it a sport because these are warriors going to war. Subscribe here, and if you like stories of the most incredible fighters in the world, go check out my other page, Owen Lee Productions. I put a lot of time, money, and effort into the incredible documentaries. And when I say incredible, I don't mean to like toot my own horn. I mean, these guys have incredible stories. These guys come from the favela, like Charles Oliveira, like Alex Pereira. They come from harsh places in Lafayette, Louisiana, like Dustin Poirier. These guys come from rough backgrounds. They have incredible stories, really, really beautiful outcomes. Beautiful to see them, turn their life around and make something. Some of them, even, they'll tell you, hey man, I'd have been in prison if I didn't find this amazing sport. I love doing my best to tell their stories.